What the heck is going on this morning? Crazy morning. Couple of shocking announcements this morning. If you're a fan of NASCAR and road courses, this might as well be a national holiday for you. How's it going, you guys? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove. I'm in my car because this episode is very impromptu. If you watched my video yesterday, I told you guys that I was gonna post my Auto Club Speedway vlog today. I'm pushing that to tomorrow because today we have more important things to cover. We have a lot of shocking developments this morning that I want to talk about right now. I'm sure you guys want to talk about them right now, so I'm expecting a lot of comments. I'm excited to see you guys, hear you guys' opinions on these, on today's announcements. We have a couple huge things to talk about. We're gonna get to that in just a second, but before we start this episode, I want to give a shout out to my boy Jordan Anderson, Truck Series driver, team owner as well. We had him on the show the week before Daytona, I believe. He talked about, a new race shop this year, that team really aligning itself for success here in the future. We talked a lot about his career to this point, and actually on Twitter that same week I kind of helped reveal his Daytona paint scheme. He had a new sponsor for that race, K-Seal, and if you guys watched the Truck Series race at Daytona, you remember Jordan Anderson came this close to pulling off one of the ultimate upsets in NASCAR history, came this close to winning the Truck Series race at Daytona, but it was still a great story, a great moment, and a great looking paint scheme. Lionel announced that they were making a race version die-cast of that car. Pre-orders are available now, and I just got word that they are very close to reaching the threshold needed to actually get the car into production, or the truck into production. So if you guys haven't pre-ordered a K-Seal Daytona raced used car, Jordan Anderson race truck, go do it right now. I'll put the link down in the description because that was too sexy of a paint scheme and too awesome of an evening for Jordan Anderson fans for that die-cast to not get made. So go pre-order it right now. Top link down in the description. I got mine. I'm excited. This is pretty cool. Anyway, I wanted to give my boy Jordan Anderson a good plug there because I want to see that die-cast get made. Really cool thing that Lionel's doing over there, and just a great race overall. Anyway, we've got to talk about some other stuff today. I told you guys at the beginning of the show, if you're a road course fan, there's a lot of news for you this morning. We'll start with Tony Stewart, because he's back. Tony Stewart is gonna be back in a NASCAR race car, not for a test. Remember, he did drive a test car at Circuit of the Americas last year, testing that road course down in Austin, a Formula One / IndyCar road course. He was testing that. He's gonna be behind the wheel of an Xfinity car this summer at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Remember, this year in the Xfinity Series, in July 4th weekend, they're running the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course for the Xfinity Series, and Tony Stewart announced today that he is going to be participating in that race in a Stewart-Haas Racing car. The number, the crew chief, all that has not been announced yet. All that we know is that Tony Stewart is back behind the wheel of a NASCAR race car in competition for the first time since 2016. He's a 3-time Cup Series champion. He's won, 49 Cup Series races. He's a legend. He is a Hall of Famer, and he's making his return at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tony Stewart has an open wheel background. Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a very important racetrack to him. He's won the Brickyard 400 multiple times. I was there in 2007 when he won that race. And we know Tony Stewart was always pretty good at road courses. His final career Cup win came at Sonoma. Remember his final season, that dramatic finish. That was a classic. So we know Tony Stewart likes road courses. We know he likes Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Maybe we should have seen this coming from a mile away, but this is kind of a match made in heaven. Really exciting. I was never a Tony Stewart fan, but I know a lot of people are Tony Stewart fans. And even though I'm not a Tony Stewart fan, I must say I'm extremely intrigued and extremely interested to see how he runs in this race and how this whole race goes. This race was already interesting to me just because it's the first race, first NASCAR race at this configuration. I was really excited to see how it was going to work just from that standpoint. But now knowing that a Cup Series champion is going to be racing out there, I mean, think about it. Guys like Harrison Burton, Noah Gragson, Chase Briscoe's gonna be out there racing against his boss. These kids, I mean, they're my age, and I know if I was on a racetrack with Tony Stewart, I would be intimidated. I would be thrilled. So I can't imagine. These guys are actually race car drivers. I can't imagine. They gotta be, I'm sure they're very intrigued by this as well. If I had to make a prediction, I mean, he's in an SHR car, which means he's gonna be in one of the best cars in the field. Tony Stewart, towards the end of his career, was definitely not the same driver he was at the beginning of his career. He has stayed loose. He's raced a lot of dirt races in the meantime since he's been done in NASCAR. So he's still loose. I think he's still got it. He's still a solid driver. He's still got the itch, I'd say. Realistically though, I think he finishes 7th or 8th. I think that's what I'm gonna expect from Tony Stewart. Maybe he shocks the world. I didn't expect when Dale Jr. first came back in, I guess it was 2018 at Richmond, and he led laps and ran top 5. I didn't expect that. I expected Jr. to just putt around in 12th. He came out and almost won the damn thing. So I'm not gonna make that same mistake and underestimate Tony Stewart here. He is a bulldog on the racetrack. I think he's gonna run top 10. I think he's gonna finish around 8th. I don't think he's gonna have what it takes to beat, Austin Cindric's proven to be really good at these road courses. I think Chase Briscoe's improved quite a bit. Some of these young guys, we don't really know exactly how good they are on road courses yet. I think he's gonna have some good competition, but it being a road course is interesting. That might give Tony Stewart an advantage, actually, because he's always been pretty solid at the road courses. Anyway, really cool to see Tony Stewart making his comeback. What do you guys think? Do you think Tony Stewart's gonna win? Well, that would be pretty big. Think he's gonna run top 5, top 10? Let me know what your expectations are for Tony Stewart's NASCAR return at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. I'm excited to see it. Tony Stewart, pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, that's not the only huge, stunning announcement this morning. NASCAR revealed today that they are changing up the way Speed Weeks are gonna work in 2021. It's not even gonna be Speed Weeks anymore. It's gonna be Speed Week, singular. The Daytona 500 for next year has already been revealed. February 14th, Sunday, Valentine's Day, Daytona 500. So that date's already been publicly known, but now they've moved all the other dates around. Qualifying, the Clash, which we'll talk about in a second, the duels and everything, the ARCA, the race, the Xfinity race, target race, everything now is gonna take place within about 6 days. Let's talk about these changes. The biggest and most notable change comes in the form of the Busch Clash. The Busch Clash is sticking around for 2021. It is not going away, but it is changing dramatically. The 2021 Busch Clash will be run on the Daytona International Speedway road course. A lot of road courses. Wow. The same configuration, presumably. They haven't actually announced specifically what the configuration is going to look like. Maybe a few tweaks here and there, but basically the same configuration that IMSA runs for the Rolex 24, for example. And I couldn't find a specific start time anywhere. Maybe they haven't announced that yet, but they did say that this race will be run under the lights. A night race on the Daytona infield road course. The Roval. It's a Roval, y'all. All right, we'll come back to that in a second, but let's talk about the schedule. So the crazy new Busch Clash is gonna be run on Tuesday, not Sunday, not Saturday before Daytona. It's gonna be run the Tuesday before the 500 on February 9th. So Tuesday, late afternoon, evening, the Busch Clash on the road course. Tuesday. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Wednesday, February 10th, is Daytona 500 qualifying. Typically that happens the Sunday before the Daytona 500 or the weekend before the Daytona 500. Single car runs and everything. That's happening Wednesday, just a few days before the 500 on February 10th. And then the duels still happening on Thursday, February 11th, so not a lot of changes there. Truck race will still be Friday on February 12th, but then February 13th is a little bit different. It's a double header of sorts. You've got the ARCA Menards race will be run, also the Xfinity race will be run February 13th. The official article NASCAR release does not state which will come first. I would guess probably ARCA then Xfinity, but maybe the opposite. I don't know which order they're gonna go in, but yeah, Saturday, February 13th will be ARCA and Xfinity, doubling up. So man, a lot of bang for your buck with that ticket. And then February 14th is the Daytona 500. So the big change in the schedule comes with the Clash and Daytona 500 qualifying being moved to midweek dates and moved away. That weekend before the Daytona 500 is completely erased now, completely gone. This is good. I don't know if this is gonna be a long-term thing. I don't know if this is gonna be a multi-year change, but next year, the Super Bowl was gonna be on February 7th, which is when the Clash was traditionally gonna be run. So running the Busch Clash the same day as the Super Bowl, it was a losing effort. You're not gonna succeed with that one. So moving that to a midweek race, maybe this works out great. Maybe this becomes a long running thing. Maybe this happens for years now. Maybe this just becomes the new tradition. But either way, it needed to be done for next year to avoid conflict with the Super Bowl, because Super Bowl Sunday, it dominates the airwaves. The only other thing that maybe comes close to the Super Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday is the Puppy Bowl on Animal Planet, I think. I don't know, wherever it is. Anyway, if you're not a bull on Super Bowl Sunday, you're not getting views. So it makes sense for NASCAR to move the Clash a couple days later. Move it to a Tuesday night. NASCAR said they're gonna experiment with some midweek races next year. This is the first actual sign that they are doing something about it. Yes, it's the Clash. Yes, it's just an exhibition race, no points on the line. I guess now with stage, I guess maybe they do give out stage points now, but it's nothing really on the line for this race. It's still cool to see that they're experimenting and trying this this out on as a midweek race. Hopefully it's successful. I'm sure a lot of people are just gonna be talking about the road course aspect of it, and a lot of people are gonna wonder maybe what this is in response to. I mean, some people will say this is directly in response to all the crashing we saw in this year's Clash, and that might have played a role, but NASCAR has long said for over a year now that they are wanting to add more road courses to the schedule. Daytona had a roval configuration that, like I said, they use for IMSA, they use for other series all the time. It's a well constructed road course setup. They had it there and waiting. I'm not shocked. I bet this was in the cards for a while, actually. I bet this was something that was pitched a long time ago. How about the Clash on the road course? Because obviously they're not going to run the Daytona 500 on the road course. They're not doing that. They're probably never going to run, or at least not anytime soon. They're not going to run the Coke 0400 or the summer, the other later race. Probably not going to run that on the road course anytime soon. Best way to test it, exhibition race, preseason exhibition race where there's only going to be like 20 cars in the field. Best chance to try it out. So I'm all for it. I like seeing more road courses. I really, more than anything, just like seeing new tracks, new configurations thrown into NASCAR, thrown into the NASCAR schedule, because it really shows, or it throws all these drivers for a loop, and it really forces all these drivers to kind of learn on the fly, and that can create some really interesting things. We've seen it with the Charlotte Roval the last couple of years. Those races have been so fun to watch, and they've been kind of unpredictable, which is, I think, something NASCAR is kind of going for with some of these new schedule changes. They want a bit more unpredictability. There's one thing that NASCAR fans claim they hate, and that is dominance. They don't want to see the same teams winning every single week. They want to see mixed up, NASCAR fans don't really care if Cup Series drivers go down to the Xfinity trucks. They only care when it's Kyle Busch winning every single race he competes in. When it's dominance, that's when fans care. So NASCAR is kind of catering to that crowd here, I think, with the road course implementation, because they know that's going to shake things up a bit more, and I think that's what they believe fans want. I think they're right to an extent. I think a good amount of fans do want to see more parity. They do want to see kind of an unpredictability factor in these races. I do think that is mostly true, but I would caution NASCAR not to go too overboard and just make every race a wild card race, something wild and unpredictable every week, every year. Don't go too far down the line. Sometimes, Alex Bowman dominated at Auto Club this last weekend. Sometimes you just need to see a butt kicking every now and then. You need to see some dominance here and there. Daytona International Speedway President Chip Weil had this to say. He said, "NASCAR fans have asked for more road course competition, and the industry is listening. With the talent level the Busch Clash brings to the table, the race will now clearly have its own look and feel during Daytona Speed Weeks in 2021 and beyond." Now, my big question that still remains, and I haven't seen anyone definitively answer it yet, is this going to be the first race for the next gen car? But yeah, keep an eye out on that. That's all I really have to cover in this episode. Also, just saw Chase Elliott's Hooters scheme revealed for the 2 Truck Series races he's racing, first at Atlanta, then later at Kansas. Pretty awesome. Return to the 24 for Chase Elliott. That's Jeff Gordon fans gotta love that. But yeah, that's a really cool looking truck. Remember, he's participating in that Kyle Busch bounty. Also revealed this week, Eric Jones is gonna be participating in that whole sweepstakes, if you will, at Homestead Miami Speedway. He's got a truck. Billy Ballou and James Finch are putting together a truck for Jones to participate in the bounty that Kevin Harvick put on Kyle Busch's head. So add another one to the list. Kyle Busch is gonna have some competition. I don't know about this truck. I don't know if this is necessarily the best truck in the world, but Eric Jones is a Truck Series champion. I'm sure he'll get something out of it. Anyway, so just hit on those things really quick, but that's really all I've got. Just wanted to vent about Tony Stewart and Daytona. Wow. Did not expect all of this news this morning. Also, I saw Jimmy Johnson's getting like seat tested for an IndyCar. So yeah, I expect Jimmy Johnson probably gonna announce some IndyCar races sometime soon. Maybe not this year, maybe next year, but still saw that recently. So the world's gone mad. The racing world's gone mad this morning. It's not even lunchtime yet and I'm already drowning over here. Well, this has been fun. This has been fun to talk about. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of great stuff, a lot of great action. I mean, we got a lot of exciting things to look forward to here in the coming months with these announcements. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, subscribe if you are new. We do this all the time. So if you like NASCAR, you're in the right place. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. I could not do this show without the support I get from every single one of you who supports on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. I will be at Phoenix this weekend, and that would not be possible without the support I get from all of you on Patreon over there. So I'll be at Phoenix covering the race the way I usually do. I promise you my Auto Club Speedway videos are coming soon. They're going to be out today, but with this, this took priority. Tony Stewart coming back out of retirement just for 1 week, that still took priority. But yeah, Phoenix is coming up, and it wouldn't be possible without you great people on Patreon. So thanks for checking that out. Thank you for the support. Not sure if I'll have another Out of the Groove up this week. I got a lot of other videos that are backlogged right now that I need to edit, so I'm going to get on those very quickly. But yeah, this has been fun. I will see you guys very, very soon. Phoenix, they're back at with the big horsepower, small spoiler on the back. So Phoenix should be really fun to watch this weekend, much better than last year's races there. So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are too. I will see you there at the track. Have a good one, y'all. Have a good rest of your week.